Hi, so what I'd like to talk about today is should we be getting some rewards when we level? And if so, what should we get? So, I've just been playing the Elder Scrolls Online beta for the next expansion, and I was going through from level 1 character and a few levels, and they've done something that changes what happens when you get a level now. And it gave me, I'm not saying that exactly that system could be used for World of Warcraft, but it gave me an idea for something. Now, I've sort of said for a little while, I have a problem when we're leveling in World of Warcraft and you get a level and then you don't get anything to customize it with. And it could be, old-fashioned role-playing gamer that when you got a level, you got something. You got a new ability or some points to spend on talents or something like that. Something that allowed you to make a choice to do something to customize your character, or at least you got some sort of reward, some association with getting a level. What we get now in World of Warcraft is we get some, okay, our baseline stats go up, but you don't really notice that. In fact, now, with proper scaling, which is a good thing, you don't notice at all. And looking at my paladin on the alpha at the moment, I mean, what have we got? We've got 7 talents and we've got 24 abilities. So that's 31 things. When you get a level, at some point you get one of these things, 31 things. So that means it covers you for about 31 levels. But there's going to be 120 levels in the game. So that means the vast majority of times when you get a level you ding, you don't get anything. It's like, well, what's the point of the level? It doesn't do anything. Okay, it's raising those baseline stats, but everything's scaled. Who cares? Really, who cares? It means that now, because of quest rewards are scaled, when you get a quest reward, all right, if you turn in a quest just before you get a level, just before you ding, as compared to just after you ding, all right, there's a difference in the item level of that item. That's really it. And in fact, it's not even that 31 levels give you something, because you start off with a couple of abilities, and there are sometimes a level when you get a talent at the same time as an ability as well. So in actual fact, the number of levels, the number of times you ding as you go from level 1 to 120 and get something is much smaller. It's pretty small, in fact. So what I was thinking of is, I would like a situation where when you dig, you get something. There's something there that is like, well done, you've dinged, more than just a ding that you've actually got. Now, we used to have a talent point. Now, that system changed, and I can understand why, it changing the talent system helped them be able to define the specs better, particularly for a class such as mine, Paladin, where each spec is a very different role as well. So to have those distinct specs was important to change the talent system. Okay, so we can't now get talent points. I mean, there are systems that could be put in place that would still work with World of Warcraft. You get them in some other games. But Blizzard have chosen not to do that, and that's fine. That's okay. That's the World of Warcraft way. It's also true, as Ian Hazacosta said, we can't just keep getting new abilities. Because, that's why they've kept having to prune them back, and a lot of people don't like these ability prunes, but it was getting to the point where there was a lot of ability bloat. That's just the unfortunate nature of the beast. So we need something else. Now, there are a couple of ideas I have, which are actually from World of Warcraft. They're just given for different content. One of them is new for Battle for Azeroth. I've talked about this in another context as well. And I don't see any reason why it couldn't also apply to leveling. So in the Battle for Azeroth, if you decide to assign yourself as war mode on the PvP on, as some of you may know, whenever you do something, I'm not entirely sure what it is yet, I'm guessing it's PvP world content, but certainly you would get it for doing that. You get a bar that fills up. Every time you do something that's worth some of these points, the bar fills up. Once the bar is full, you get a piece of gear, which you can equip. And then the bar fills up again, you get another piece of gear, and it goes round like that. And I'm thinking, that could work for levelling. So when you're levelling, you've got an experience bar. So when you level, maybe get a piece of gear. And this is something that can work all the way from level 1. Because it will be a piece of equipment that will always be suitable for your level, because, of course, gear scales with your level. And it doesn't have to be anything particularly special. It could be like blue quality gear. So probably something you'd equip. Not absolutely, definitely. Maybe you've been in a dungeon, you've got a really good piece in there. But, you know, a lot of the times it may be something you equip, and it helps you as you level up to be able to, you know, cover a few slots there. It doesn't completely nullify the quest rewards equipment that you're getting from doing quests. But then let's face it, most quest reward, your gear you get from quest rewards tends to be stuff you don't end up equipping anyway. So it's sort of all right if a bit more of it goes to waste as well. And then I was thinking then, you know, in the BFA content, it could actually reward an Azurite piece, because what Blizzard have said in terms of what do we get, because I'm not the only person who's asked what do we get when we level. Leveling is meaningless now. Blizzard said that you'll be getting Azurite armor pieces as you level. But it's not quite true. We don't get Azurite armors attached to leveling. We get Azurite armor pieces. We may get them from dungeons. We get them from quests. You know, certain quests, there's a few in each zone that reward an Azurite piece. But that's associated with the quests, not the leveling. Okay? You don't necessarily even get one of these each level. So, for example, I've just been re-leveling again with the new build coming. I've started again. And I've got to level 112. And I still have one Azurite piece. So, you're not even getting an average of one per level necessarily. I suppose it depends on where you go and what quest you do. But, you know, it's certainly not associated with the leveling. So, you don't associate that Azurite armor with the leveling. You associate it with a quest that you've done or a dungeon that you've done. Whereas I would say, don't have Azurite armor as quest rewards. Instead, give it as leveling rewards. And you can still have Azurite as quest rewards for like the end of an important quest, something like that. But, you know, give the Azurite armor for leveling. And as I say, you know, before BFA, pre-BFA stuff, just a piece of equipment. Just a blue quality piece of equipment appropriate for that level, and just mix it up each level so you don't obviously get 2 levels in a row, a belt or something like that. That'd be silly. Now, that's one idea. I did have another as well, which would not be my preferred one because it wouldn't be as interesting. Because the benefit of the Azurite armor, especially for the BFA stuff as well, is because you've got traits attached to it. It is almost like getting a talent again, because you're gonna click on an ability. All right, it might be the same ability as the one you got the previous level as well. But nonetheless, there's something there that you are actively doing to customize your character. Because that's what I really want, something that's active, ideally, if it's at all possible. Because, you know, the baseline stats, for example, is entirely passive. That doesn't really cut it for me. So the other idea I had was, well, you know, the bags we get, for example, if you queue up for a dungeon or LFR or something, if there's a particular role that's in short supply, usually a tank, then you get a satchel of goodies. Well, why don't we just, as standard, get a satchel of goodies when we level up? You know, it might contain potion or bandages or some buff food or even a flask. You know, maybe it has a small chance to give us a pet or a mount, just like, you know, it could be the same satchel as you're getting for queuing up for the dungeons as a role that's underrepresented, or, you know, an LFR, something like that. And that wouldn't be customizable. It wouldn't be something that you're using to customize your character. So it'd be my less preferred option. But it would still be something like, you know, oh, I've got a level. Oh, great. I've got a thing in my bag. Bit of anticipation. Something, you know, something exciting. Because what it feels like at the moment when you're leveling, and I'm not just talking about when you go from level 110 to 120 or 100 to 110. I'm talking even when you're leveling in the low levels, where actually every now and then you do get a new ability, and that's great when it happens. But all too often you don't even get that. It isn't exciting. Getting a level isn't exciting, and I think in a role-playing game it is. What it's like instead is chalking one off. It's like you're a felon chalking off the days in prison until you can go free again. That's a terrible association to have with levelling. And as I say, maybe it's just that I'm old-fashioned. I mean, let me know in the comments below. Am I just old-fashioned in terms of that role-playing gaming where, because you had far fewer levels, I mean, I've never played a role-playing game before I'm expected to get 120 levels. And, you know, maybe playing games where you get far fewer levels, of course, you would expect something to customize yourself. Are there just too many levels in the game to accommodate this? Or would this be something that people would go, yeah, actually, even if it was just a satchel of goodies, that would be something to look forward to, you know, as you're about to get to the next level, you think, oh, great, you know, some potions, and you can use those potions while you're leveling. You could use that flask while you're leveling, something like that. So let me know what you think in the comments below, of course. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Share with other people who might be interested. Get it out there, see what other people think. And until next time, I'll see you later.